Hello, YouTube friends, and welcome back to our channel, We Just Float, where we share our near and far travel experiences. Today, we experience Paris with a wonderful view and narrated cruise on the River Seine. If you plan to visit Paris, we highly recommend that you consider taking a river cruise to enhance your sightseeing experience. There are a few companies that are centrally located on the river at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. If you have the time and desire, you can book a lunch cruise or dinner cruise. We opted for the sightseeing cruise and had a bite to eat at the pier while we waited. When comparing companies at the pier, the cost was similar for the sightseeing cruise, but you want to be sure to ask if your cruise includes an in-person guide or if the cruise is simply a narrated recording. Although we were told that both options provided information on the various monuments, historical significance of them, and bridges along the way of the cruise, we selected the Bateau Parisien cruise and paid a total of $42.96 in US dollars for two people, which is about 19 euros each. Our in-person tour guide that you will later meet in this video did an amazing job by providing commentary in both English and French. If you're unable to catch a cruise with an in-person guide, no worries. You can access English, French, and additional languages by downloading their audio guide onto your personal smartphone. Here is a great location for people watching, view of the Eiffel Tower, and surrounding sights. Pictured here is a unique work of art and universal symbol of love made from recycled boat parts that welcomes you into the cruise boarding area and also the Café des Verdettes open air lunch patio. While waiting for our cruise, we decided to grab a quick lunch, which consisted of a couple of salads, fries, macaroons, which were delicious, and soft drinks for a total cost of about 27 US dollars. So now on to the Seine River cruise. You will hear from our cruise guide, Stephanie, who will share information for the most part in English and also in French. But no worries, for our non-French speakers, you will still enjoy the sights as she speaks.
Messieurs, dames, bonjour, bonjour à tous. Hop. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Hello, hello, bonjour. Hello, and welcome to Paris, welcome on board the Vedettes de Paris. My name is Stephanie, I'm your guide, and we are going to be together during 1 hour for this guided cruise. So, let's go have a nice cruise to make a short stopover at the Pont Marie Mary Bridge. It will be at the middle of the cruise, so not for the moment. For the moment, we stay all together. And let's go! L'escale de la Seine. I'm going to show you all the most famous, the most beautiful, the most emblematic monuments of Paris built here along the Seine River, and we are going to talk about all the history of Paris during 1 hour. Ready? Go! Let's start with the first monument, which is located here on our left, just behind the trees. It is the Palais de Tokyo. The Palais de Tokyo, which was built for World Fair that took place in Paris in 1937. It is nowadays a museum, the Modern Art Museum of Paris, and of course you can visit it. Le Palais de Tokyo. Can you see now? That's golden flame, which is just here, between the trees. Yeah. It is here, that's golden flame, the Liberty flame, which was the gift from United States to France, and it is here a full-size, a real-size replica of, you know, the flame, the torch of the Statue of Liberty, which is of course in New York. Cette flamme de la liberté. Sur notre gauche, je vous présente le Grand Palais avec cette grande canopée, cette grande verrière. Le Grand Palais construit aussi pour une exposition universelle. Cette fois-ci, c'était celle de 1900. Le pont Alexandre en 1900, même année que le Grand Palais et le Petit Palais de 1900. Et il porte le nom, ce pont, de celui qui était le tsar de la Russie à la fin du Here, it is the Orsay Museum. Je vais vous présenter, messieurs, dames, le musée d'Orsay qui se trouve donc maintenant sur notre droite. On change un petit peu de rive. Le musée d'Orsay, qui est le musée des impressionnistes. Vous allez retrouver tous les grands noms de la peinture de la fin du 19e, début du 20e. Monet, Manet, Millet, Renoir, Degas, Van Gogh, Toulouse-Lautrec sont exposés ici, en ces murs un petit peu particuliers, puisqu'il s'agit d'un monument qui, avant d'être un musée, était une gare qui avait été construite pour l'Expo universelle de 1900. Ce qui explique la présence de ces deux grandes horloges sur la façade principale. It is here the Orsay Museum, which is the Impressionist Museum of Paris, where you can find all the great names of paintings from the end of the 19th century to the beginning of the 20th century. So it means that you can see here the paintings from Monet, Manet, Millet, Renoir, Degas, Van Gogh, and so on and so on. And it's hosted in that monument. But the City Hall of Paris decided to remove them because the weight of these padlocks was too dangerous for the bridge. Et droit devant nous, eh bien, je vous présente l'île de la... The City Island, but I'm not sure that we can... Il s'appelle comme ça parce que c'est le tout premier pont d'une nouvelle génération de ponts qui a été construit en pierre. Jusqu'alors, au Moyen-Âge, les ponts étaient construits en bois, et puis à partir du 16e, avec le pont neuf, eh bien, on a commencé à construire des ponts en pierre. Donc c'est le plus vieux pont de Paris, sous-entendu, pas de tous les temps, hein, mais le plus vieux pont qui existe toujours de nos jours à Paris. That bridge here is called in French le Pont Neuf. It means the new bridge, and that new bridge is actually the oldest bridge of Paris. Yes, I know we are a little bit complicated in France. It is because there is an explanation, of course. It is because it was the first bridge made in stones, not in wood, in stone. On our right, on your right, it is here the Latin district, le quartier latin, where Paris was born, and on your left it is here the Ile de la Cité, where Paris has been extended during the Middle Ages. So it is here, that part, the oldest part of Paris. We are here in the cradle of Paris. Nous sommes ici en train de naviguer entre les deux plus vieux quartiers de Paris. And of course, I'm going to show you now the most famous, the most emblematic monument from the Middle Ages here in Paris, on the Ile de la Cité. Just after that bridge, we will discover together. Can you guess what we are going to see? Yes, exactly. So, ready? Ready for Notre-Dame? Yes, welcome to Notre-Dame Cathedral. Messieurs, dames, je vous présente notre belle cathédrale Notre-Dame de Paris, qui est probablement le monument le plus emblématique de cette époque du Moyen-Âge à Paris. Notre-Dame qui a été construite entre le milieu du XIIe siècle et le milieu du XIVe siècle, dans ce style gothique qui lui est directement associé. On voit ici la façade principale, qui est la façade d'entrée, la façade ouest, avec cette grande rose centrale surmontée de ces deux clochers, de ces deux tours au fond desquelles on aperçoit des carreaux tout à fait typiques du style gothique de Notre-Dame. Notre-Dame Cathedral was built during the Middle Ages, from the middle of the 12th century to the middle of the 14th century, in this very typical Gothic style. We can see here the main facade with that central rose window surmounted by the two bell towers, and you can see here some gargoyles. You know the gargoyles of Notre-Dame, typical from the Gothic style. Notre-Dame qui depuis plus de 800 ans. And of course, from that facade, we can see the reconstruction of Notre-Dame. We all remember the fire that destroyed all that part, all the back, the roof, the spire of Notre-Dame. It was 4 years ago, in April 2019. And Notre-Dame will reopen its door in 1 year and a half, in December 2024. Notre-Dame, dont la réouverture a été annoncée en décembre 2024, si tout va bien d'ici là, bien sûr, from the Ile de la Cité. It was totally uninhabited until the 17th century. That's very late, the 17th century in the history of Paris. And since the 17th century, a lot of hôtels particuliers, it means private habitation buildings, were built here that still exist nowadays, and it gives to this island a very charming, very picturesque atmosphere. I'm going to show you some example of hôtel particulier in a few minutes on the other side, because here at the extremity of the Île Saint-Louis, we are going to make a U-turn, and we are going to turn around this island. So during our U-turn, during few seconds, few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, I'm going to let you enjoy the landscape and some peaceful moments. And of course, we are going to continue in a few seconds, just after the U-turn. On va ici, messieurs, dames, à l'extrémité de... Messieurs, dames, je vous propose que nous reprenions. Je vais vous parler de l'hôtel Lambert qui se trouve ici sur notre gauche, avec cette rotonde et cette façade semi-circulaire, l'hôtel Lambert qui est connu pour avoir accueilli les grands philosophes du 18e. On our left here, it is the Hotel Lambert, where all the great philosophers from the 18th century used to come during the 18th century. Voltaire, Montesquieu, Rousseau, for example. And just a little bit after the Hotel Lambert, at the number 7 on the Île de la Cité, la conciergerie with its 4 towers. La conciergerie qui fait donc partie d'un vaste palais, le palais de la Cité, qui était la résidence royale pour les rois de France. Les rois de France, on peut visiter la cellule de Marie-Antoinette qui a été détenue ici pendant plusieurs mois avant d'être conduite place de la Concorde pour y être exécutée. The conciergerie, it was the first royal residence for kings of France during the Middle Ages, and then it has been transformed into l'an 1200 était une forteresse médiévale, une forteresse dont on peut d'ailleurs apercevoir encore aujourd'hui les fondations. Si vous allez visiter le Louvre, peut-être allez-vous vous balader dans ce qu'on appelle le Louvre médiéval, au premier sous-sol. Vous allez apercevoir les fondations de cette forteresse qui ensuite assez rapidement a été transformée, agrandie pour devenir un palais royal pour les rois de France qui sont donc passés du palais de la Cité au palais du Louvre pendant la Renaissance. Avant que celui-ci ne soit à nouveau transformé, cette fois-ci en un musée pendant la Révolution française. Ce sont les révolutionnaires français qui ont décidé d'ouvrir au plus grand nombre les collections royales. The Louvre, it was initially a medieval castle at the very beginning of the 13th century, which has been transformed into a royal palace during the Renaissance, before being transformed again during the French Revolution. So at the end of the 18th century, into a museum. It is the most visited museum in the world with around 10 million visitors per year. You can see here all the history of art from the antiquity to nowadays, not to nowadays, to the 19th century. Le Louvre, qui est le musée le plus visité au monde avec quelques 10 millions de visiteurs annuels qui se pressent ici pour admirer des œuvres qui vont de l'Antiquité jusqu'au 19e siècle, autant dire toute l'histoire de l'art qui est représentée ici au musée du Louvre, dont bien sûr vous connaissez les œuvres les plus connues, la Vénus de Milo, la victoire de Samothrace, le radeau de la Méduse, la liberté qui est dans le peuple, puis bien sûr la Joconde. Et droit devant nous, vous l'avez certainement reconnu, le pont Alexandre III, qui nous offre ici un panorama magnifique avec la tour Eiffel en toile de fond. Et je vous invite à regarder dans le prolongement gauche de ce pont Alexandre III, puisque nous allons y apercevoir le sommet du dôme des Invalides, l'hôtel des Invalides. It is here in front of us, of course. It's the Alexander the Bridge. And maybe you can just have a look on your left, because we can see here the top of a large golden dome. That dome, it is here the Invalids, which is nowadays a museum, the Army Museum, where you can see the tomb of Napoleon I, Napoleon Bonaparte. Alors les Invalides de nos jours, c'est un musée que vous connaissez peut-être, qui accueille de nombreux visiteurs parce que Louis XIV, pour accueillir dans un premier temps les Eiffel Tower, which is probably the most important symbol of Paris nowadays, of course. The Eiffel Tower, which was built for a world fair that took place in Paris in 1889, sorry, at the end of the 19th century. It bears the name of its architect, its creator, Gustave Eiffel. We say Eiffel in French. It's true, it was supposed to be temporary. It has been built just for the exhibition at the end of the 19th century.
We hope you found this video to be informative and that you also enjoyed cruising along, taking in the beauty of Paris from the Seine River. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to We Just Float and share a thumbs up. Until next time, thank you.